good morning. And I say morning because the sun is not even up yet. The stars are shining bright. But I woke up this morning at 4:56, which is kind of a cool time, 4, 5, 6. And I just couldn't go back to sleep because I had been thinking about what I read yesterday in my Bible study. All day yesterday, all night tonight, and I shared it with a couple of people that I met with yesterday, and was able to apply it to their lives, to my life, and it's just really cool. So I wanted to share it with you, and I'm going to quote something I'm going to come back to later, but in Dr. Tony Evans, in his Bible commentary, the phrase that he used was, not enough can become more than enough. Keep that in mind. I'll come back to that, but I want to share with you where all this started from. So in the Missing Pieces in the Jennifer Rothschild's Bible study, she had us reading in Matthew 14, and she wanted us to read just 19. But I want to read for you just a little before that and after that. I'm going to start in Matthew 14, 15, and go to 20. And it says, that evening the disciples came to him and said, this is a remote place, and it's already getting late. Send the crowds away so they can go to the villages and buy food for themselves. But Jesus said, this isn't necessary. You feed them. But we only have 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish, they answered. Bring them here, he said. Then, now here's verse 19. And what Jennifer had us doing was, she said, when you read this, what is the progression of the fish and the bread? Who got it and who gave it to whom? Listen to this. Is there something that you need to give up to somebody? And then it's going to be a blessing. Listen up. Verse 19. Then he told the people to sit down on the grass. Jesus took the 5 loaves and 2 fish, looked up to heaven, and blessed them. Then, breaking the loaves into pieces, he gave the bread to the disciples, who distributed it to the people. They all ate as much as they wanted, and afterwards the disciples picked up 12 baskets of leftovers. And so here's what it brought to my attention, and just kept going on and on and on in my head. You've got a problem. Maybe it is like conversations that I've just even had this week. A friend, their child is hoping for maybe an athletic scholarship. And during this time, there's some crazy things going on. But he's having a physical difficulty right now. And you're like, really? This time when the college coaches are looking at him at this time? And then I've got somebody that they're not happy with their job. And I know that they're wanting to do something different, but hang on, maybe you're in a relationship that you need to give up, whether it's given up to God or give up completely. Well, here's what I'm getting for. The progression was just in verse 19. The disciples had it, you and I. We have a problem. We have a situation we can't handle on our own. They gave it to Jesus. We need to just lay it at the foot of the cross and give our problems, give our whatever to Jesus. Whatever ours not enough, we need to give it to Jesus. Jesus lifted it up to his Father. And then God ended up blessing everything. And Jesus gave it back to the disciples. The disciples then gave it to others. And it was more than enough. Whatever your problem is, don't try to take it on your own. Don't try to say, I can do this. Or even recruit other people to help you in this alone. You need to give it up to God. You need to give it up to God and watch the miracles happen, because whenever you do that, it may not be answered in your time. It's going to be answered in God's time. It may not be the answer that you expect, but when you give it up to God, it is the right answer. It is the best answer for you. And then don't only just keep your blessings, but you give it to others. Give it out to others. In my study Bible, in the commentary section, it says, Jesus multiplied the 5 loaves and the 2 fish to feed over 5,000 people. What he was originally given seemed insufficient, but in his hands, it became more than enough. More than enough. We often feel that our contribution to Jesus is meager, but he can use and multiply what we give him, whether it is a talent, a time, or a treasure. It is when we give them to Jesus that our resources are multiplied. And I didn't read that until this morning after I've been mulling over it for a day. And it just speaks to me, y'all. And then here's what Dr. Tony Evans had to say regarding Matthew 14, verses 18 through 21. When the problem identified and his followers at a loss for how to fix it, Jesus went into action. He's always working, y'all. Always working. He said, in effect, bring your not enough to me. And then he blessed what they had. Miraculously, the disciples were able to give enough food to feed 5,000 men besides the women and children. He says perhaps 15 to 20,000 people. Not only that, but the disciples also picked up 12 baskets full of leftovers. In other words, each of the 12 got a doggy bag to remind them of what Jesus can do. Not enough can become more than enough. When 2 things happen, first, rather than dismissing it, bringing what little you have to Jesus. Second, believe that Jesus can intercede in your situation, bringing abundance out of deficiency. Put him first and see what he can do. He can demonstrate the supernatural in the midst of your natural problem. Go back and listen to that again. Or if you have this commentary book, go back and read what it says for Matthew 14, 18 through 21. Let God demonstrate the supernatural in the midst of your natural. Let your not enough become more than enough. Let him bring your abundance out of your deficiency. Oh, that just tears me up inside. It's so true. It's so true. So mull over that. Listen to this again and have a blessed day. Make sure you give it all. Give it all to Jesus and watch him give it to his Father and bring it back down and bless. You got to give it up to others. You got to give it up to him. Turn those blessings around and give it to others. Y'all have a good day. That's a good word right there, y'all.